so stick around with us. Hello and welcome to the United Community Channel. This is the match reaction for Manchester United versus Chelsea. 4-1 win to Manchester United. Champions League football guaranteed next season. Happy, happy days. United go into third place in the Premier League on the back of Newcastle and Leicester drawing midweek. United get a win tonight and a convincing performance by United. First half, not so much, you would have to say. But albeit you get the 2 goals in the first half, the game is nearly over at half-time. You know, game is pretty much over at half-time. So, but again, I wouldn't say Erik ten Hag was overly happy with the performance. I would say he got into his players at half-time. And I would say that he wasn't overly happy with their first half performance. I really would. But look, job done nonetheless. Resounding result. 4-1 in the end. Disappointing to concede a goal. But look, I think the first half specifically has been typical of Manchester United this season on a number of different occasions where you go into a game, you start really, really well, and you get a I mean, the first 10 minutes we were fantastic. We really were. And you get your goal, and then all of a sudden you take the foot off the pedal and you allow Chelsea slowly but surely to come into the game. And if we look at it, I think Chelsea were close to 65% possession in the first half. And United went in at half-time with a 2-0 lead. If Chelsea had a finisher in their team, we could have easily have been 4-1 down at half-time. We really could. They had a raft of chances. And I think it stemmed from part from our forward line and part from our midfield. I think we were played through quite easily. That young left-back for Chelsea, Hall, on the left-hand side, done really well. A couple of times Wan-Bissaka got caught too high and they counter-attacked. But in saying that, we go back to what we're saying. And I know we haven't got a clean sheet tonight, but we're defending really well at the moment. We really are. It's really positive out of Manchester United to see the kind of defensive displays we're putting in. Great to have Varane back. Victor Lindelof is just like really, really making a solid name for himself. You know, and it was a shame that he's been lumped with Harry Maguire for so long, and he gets some unfair criticism because of it. But now we're seeing Victor Lindelof without Harry Maguire beside him. You're seeing a completely different footballer. You really are. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, again tonight, thought a decent game as well in the defence. Luke Shaw went off at half-time with a minor back injury. Let's hope he's okay. Obviously, Ten Hag likes to keep his cards close to his chest, so we're probably not going to get an awful lot of information on it. As well with Anthony, looked like a serious injury. Let's hope he's okay. I'm sure we'll find out in the next couple of days, whether the injury is, how severe it is. But I mean, look, if we're looking at, Manchester United and we're looking at performances tonight, Casemiro, I mean, what a performance from him. A goal and an assist, I think. Or did he get an assist? I think he got an assist. Absolutely unbelievable. He's back to the levels. The last couple of games now, he's back to the levels he was before his suspension. I thought when he came back from his suspension, he didn't kind of reach the heights that he did before it. So it's great to see him back. Our forward line done the job. Goals from Anthony Martial, Bruno Fernandes with the penalty, Marcus Rashford scores again. So look, I mean, happy days. The forward line are doing their job, and it's good to get a high score line like that. When you're closing in on an FA Cup final where we are going to need to score goals to win the game. Well, you can win it on penalties, of course you can, but I'm delighted with it. I really am. So what does it mean? As we all know, what it means is Manchester United are getting Champions League football next season. We are the champions! Happy days. And for Liverpool, it's that Europa League, you may get used to it because you're going to be listening to it for the next 12 months. So, happy days. Was I worried? Yes, I was worried. You know, that whole pendulum swing that I talked about before in relation to being 2-0 up against Spurs, where you could basically secure top 4, not mathematically, but theoretically you could have, to come back and draw that game, go on to lose the next 2 games, big momentum swing in the wrong direction, and for United to swing it back into a positive direction in the last 2 to 3 games has been really, really good. You know, 3 wins on the trot, 6 goals scored, happy days, you know. And I think the most important thing about this is in relation to the project that Ten Hag wants to do. Champions League football is secured. You are now going to be able to attract a higher calibre of players to the club. Ten Hag will be able to go out and try and get his tier 1 signings. And I think it brings the whole project a year or 2 further down the line, if you know what I mean. It quickens the project up an awful lot. If we're looking at Man United and Ten Hag, and, you know, we all wanted Champions League football, but I think a lot of United fans were being realistic that we might not get it. And obviously it was a long project that we were looking at. Joe, thanks for the gifts, much appreciated. It was a long project that we were looking at under Ten Hag, and the majority of United fans would say we're not in any rush. But the fact that we get Champions League football year 1, a trophy in the bag, potentially another one, it's tipping along nicely. And a lot of people have been saying about Newcastle are ahead of schedule. I think United are ahead of schedule under Ten Hag, and for him to do what he's doing with such a limited squad in relation to numbers, Wout Weghorst and Sabitzer are the only players he gets. You know, we've had injuries to Varane. We've had suspensions to Casemiro. We've had Jadon Sancho missing for 3 months. You know, Martinez has missed the last, 2 months of the season. All on top of the likes of the Ronaldo situation, the Mason Greenwood situation, the Harry Maguire situation at the start of the season, whether he'd be captain or not, dropping the captain, and the club being up for sale. He is doing a fantastic job, Erik ten Hag is, and I couldn't be happier. I could not be happier. I really couldn't. It's brilliant. We're back in the Champions League, back where we belong, ahead of schedule. Now, let's hope that this now means that whatever decision the Glazers are going to make, that they make it pretty bloody quick now that we know we're in the Champions League. Is that why they were delaying? Does that mean the share price of Manchester United is going to go up, which means the Glazers can look for more money per share? Who knows? But let's hope that you know, accelerates the process in relation to getting new owners in, because new owners is the priority for Manchester United long term. It really is. But on the field, in terms of performances, manager, and all of the stuff to do with football, the future is looking bright. It is. Midges man, thanks for the gift. Much appreciated. Future is looking bright, and I'm really happy. Guys, get your score prediction, or sorry, not your score predictions, your player ratings in. We're going to do it here now. Let me know your player ratings as we go. I'll run down through some of the comments here as well. Smash a like on the video if you're watching on YouTube as well, guys. New video, 21 watching, only 6 likes. Take a second, hit the thumbs up button for me. Oshin says, just watching Sky Sports News. Anyone find it that Alf Inga is living through Erling? Bit creepy. Goes everywhere with him. Yeah, I get that as well. Great win, says Taffy. Over from TikTok. Appreciate it, pal. Ryan says, we expect nothing different. We lost, no surprise. So apparently we're after Rice, Kane and Mount. I'd only want Kane, to be honest. I would take all 3, to be honest. I think Rice and Mount would drastically improve our midfield in relation to what we've got with McTominay, Donny. You know, if you get rid of McTominay and Donny and bring in Mount and Rice, I'm okay with that. Anthony fractured his boot. So he fractured a bone. Okay. I'm watching scenes to go to laugh. Great to hear the crowd singing again. Love it. Mark is in. Great effort by all the lads, to be fair. Taffy says, get another brewski into you. You know what? It's the last one in the fridge. So it was. I just felt lousy leaving it there on its own. Other than that, I would. Let's see, Chris says that move over shit never works. Yeah, well, see, the thing about it is, Chris, is that when you're looking at it in relation to a match reaction, if I do it as a separate 20-minute video, people can watch it tomorrow or the next day. Whereas if I include it in a 3 hour long video, people are not going to watch it and scroll all the way down to the 3 hour part. It's just easier for people to find, locate with a different thumbnail. That's why it's done. Analytics. Let's see what people are saying here. Remember these boys were finalists in Europe not long ago, says Mark. Jay says, we need a young backup for Casemiro, a new striker, a replacement for Eriksen, and a lot of dead wood off the ship as a priority. I don't think you can get much better than that, Jay, in relation to a comment. Spot on, man. And Dante is in. He says, Casemiro is a pure and utter leader. I couldn't agree more with you. I really couldn't. Right, guys, let's get into the player ratings here. Obviously, we're going to start off with David De Gea. I thought he had a good game, in fairness to him. He'll be disappointed to concede a goal. Good goal, nonetheless. Let me know your player ratings for David De Gea, guys. I'm going to give him a 7. I thought he done well today. He made a couple of good saves. He was brave off his line a couple of times, coming out clearing balls. The one where Pulisic came in and cleaned him out. He also came out and smothered a couple of balls on the edge of the box. I thought he had a good game today. So De Gea gets a 7 from me. Victor Lindelof. I am so impressed with Victor Lindelof the last few games. I really have to say. He's been one of our best players. He really has. And I'm absolutely delighted with his performances. If I'm looking at a rating, do you know what? I'm going to give him a 7. Because we conceded a goal. If we had kept a clean sheet, he's getting an 8. But he'll get a 7. Bruno. I thought Bruno, even though he got a goal and an assist, I thought he didn't have that great of a game. I really didn't. I thought he was wasteful in possession a couple of times. We've seen over the last couple of years that Bruno likes these flicks and these tricks, and they tend not to work. And he's got it out of his game an awful lot. I think Ten Hag is working very hard to try and get it out of his game. But I think we've seen it creep back in a little bit today. But look, a goal and an assist, you can't deny that is good. A good return. So Bruno gets a 7. Anthony Martial got his goal. Didn't do an awful lot more after that, but I suppose a striker's job is to score goals, and he's scored. So I don't think I'm going to give him a 7 because I'm going to give him a 6 because I don't think he was as good as the likes of Bruno Fernandes or say Victor Lindelof, who we done last. Christian Eriksen gets his assist. He gets a 7 from me. Christian Eriksen is the type of player for me that goes under the radar. Doesn't get an awful lot of people talking about him throughout the game. Doesn't get mentioned an awful lot, but is vital to the way Manchester United want to play. He hasn't got a lot of pace, and I know a lot of people say that Chris, for one, can be critical about maybe the defensive side of his game, and I do agree. But what he gives you is let's say Chelsea are counter-attacking on us. Okay, right, he mightn't have the pace to keep up with the counter-attack, but what happens is when our defence regains possession, Eriksen is always 5 to 10 yards away from the back line, ready to receive the ball on the half turn and put us further up the field again. He got an assist tonight as well, so I'm so happy with Christian Eriksen. I do think we need a ready replacement for him. Now, is that going to be your Mason Mount, for example? Where you rotate Mount and Eriksen between each other? I don't know. But I've been happy with his performances this season. I really have. Let's see, Casemiro. I mean, what more can I say about Casemiro here? I mean, it's just he's an absolute stalwart. He's an absolute fantastic player. I'm so surprised, and I will easily admit it. I did not think he was as good as a footballer as he is. Obviously, I only watched him in Champions League games, but when he's playing beside Modric and Kroos, the your eye tends to drift to them two players, the flair players, the players that can, open a defence with a pinpoint pass. There was a lot of P's in that, wasn't there? A pinpoint pass. But Casemiro, I've been so impressed with him. He gets a 9 from me, and he's my man of the match. Absolute fantastic footballer. 2 goals in 2 games. Some of the tackles he put in, I mean, even after 5 or 6 minutes, he was putting in tackles, and that lasted the whole way through. He's getting into the box, he's getting on the end of shots. I'm so impressed with him. I'm running out of words to describe him. I really am. Varane is next then. I'm going to give him a 7. I thought him and Lindelof played, really well together. And they'll be disappointed to concede a goal, today. Because clean sheets are what defenders live for. I played in defence for long enough, so I know. It's what defenders live for. So I think he'll be disappointed with that. But I've been very happy with the relationship that him and Lindelof have formed so quickly together since Varane came back from injury. So happy days. Look, Anthony I'll give him a 6. Only played 29 minutes. Let's hope his injury is not that bad. Hopefully we'll have him for the FA Cup final in some way, shape or form. But it's not looking good. Shaw, give him a 6. He only played 45 minutes as well. Again, let's hope he's okay. Give him a rest for Sunday. No need to play him. Just get him ready for the FA Cup final. Jadon Sancho, he's getting an 8 from me today. And I'll tell you why. First of all, he got an assist, okay, which was really good. And I'm delighted to see him. But he was positive in possession today. Once or twice, he likes to turn back. And he likes to go backwards and sideways with the ball. But we didn't see it as much as we normally did tonight. He got an assist, which I thought was an absolute world-class assist. When you're one-on-one with the goalkeeper like that, and you're basically square in line with the goal. Well, he wasn't square in line with the goal, but he was pretty damn close to it. To have the vision to pick Martial out for a tap-in, who's behind 2 defenders making a run, just for a tap-in inside the 6-yard box, was absolutely phenomenal. I was happy with Jadon Sancho tonight. I know he gets a lot of criticism. And he gets it from me as well because he hasn't shown us enough. And he's going to have to put in a lot more performances like this next season if he stays. If he's going to have a future at Manchester United. Wan-Bissaka, 7. Again, like all of the backline, good and solid, putting in his tackles, getting up the field an awful lot more. Underlapping is really impressive, I have to say. His underlapping runs and his overlapping runs. His vision, I think, is improving a little. I think that's the one thing. Get the ball away an awful lot before Erik ten Hag came along. But he's not giving the ball away that much at all anymore. I've been really happy with him. Marcus Rashford, 8. I mean, the man just comes on and scores, doesn't he? It's what he does. It's what he does best. Quality. Wrap him up in cotton wool now between now and the FA Cup final. Malacia, 6. Look, played 49 minutes. Didn't do anything wrong. Decent up and down the left-hand side. Linked up with Garnacho quite well a few times as well. Fred will get a 6 as well. Only played 24 minutes. Scott McTominay, 6. Garnacho, I'm going to give him a 7 just for the influx of energy he brings into the team and the positivity he brings into the team. So, really happy with him. Erik ten Hag, tactics, 7. Line-up, 8, because it worked. We didn't have to risk Rashford. We didn't have to risk Garnacho, and we still won 4-1. Subs, 8. Brought the subs on, changed the game. Baldness, of course, a 10. So look, happy days. Really, really positive night for Manchester United. And I'm delighted. I'm absolutely delighted. I mean, we can't ask for much more. We really can't. And I think the fact that Champions League football is now wrapped up with a nice bow on top into the Champions League, listening to that anthem next season. Liverpool, enjoy the Europa League. United are back where they belong. But really happy, guys. Look, it's been a really good, positive performance from United. And like I said, and I go back to it, we're ahead of schedule. We are ahead of schedule, and it can only be a good thing for Erik ten Hag and his plans for Manchester United, because he's got some plans. You know, by the way he talks, you know, by the way he carries himself, he's got some plans for Manchester United, and the fact that we're now in the Champions League will probably mean that he can implement them plans quicker than he thought he may. But under no circumstances I think that he ever doubt that he wouldn't get Champions League football. So absolutely fantastic. I'm over the moon. So guys, what have we got coming up? We've got a transfer talk show tomorrow night at, I might do it, I think maybe 7:30 tomorrow night, 7:30 or 8 o'clock. And then Saturday, keep an eye out on Saturday for my match preview, which will be going up for the Fulham game. Keep an eye out for that. And then, of course, Sunday, we'll be doing the watch-along for the final Premier League game of the season. And then, of course, we're into transfer talk shows for a week. And then the FA Cup final the following weekend. Smash a like on the video on YouTube, guys, if you haven't. Only 9 likes, 20 people watching. Take a second, hit the thumbs up button for me. If you're new to the channel, please do hit the subscribe button. We're on the road to 4,000 subscribers. Thanks to all the support. Thanks to the gifted memberships tonight. We've got 8 new channel members tonight on YouTube as well. You're all welcome. If anyone else wants to become an official channel member, link is in the description of the video. Give it a click. See the options available. See what you think. Yeah. I appreciate all of the support. But guys, it's been brilliant. Thanks to everybody for getting involved in the chat. Really good chat tonight. Really enjoyed it. Thanks for all the support as always. And everybody on TikTok as well. Like I said, if you're new to the channel, we got daily Manchester United content. All of the watch-alongs throughout the season, which there's only 2 left. But we will be we'll be doing transfer talk shows on TikTok as well throughout the summer. But make sure, if you want to stay up to date with all of the Manchester United transfer news, we do our transfer talk show on YouTube. So make sure you're subscribing to the YouTube channel. We're giving away the Manchester United away jersey on Sunday as well. So you have to be a subscriber of the YouTube channel to be in with a chance of winning that as well. So anybody on TikTok, link is on my homepage. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. And anybody else that's watching on YouTube. Right, I think that's all of the paperwork done and dusted. Thanks for watching. United get the job done. Convincing 4-1 win against Chelsea. Champions League football next year. Erik ten Hag is the man to bring us back to where we need to be. Happy days. Thanks for watching. I'll see you Sunday.